We're here with another episode of Life Thus Far. I have my illustrious co-host, Valence Michael.
Illustrious.
And we have our guest for the day, Navid Sarfaraz.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of the Syndicate.
Yes, the Syndicate, yep.
Happy to have you here, man.
Thank you.
I've passed by you guys all the time. See you guys making a bunch of cool shit.
Yeah.
We've talked in passing. We hung out a little bit one night.
We did, yeah.
Late. And
late session.
Yeah, we had a late session one night. Since then I was like, I gotta hear this dude's story. I gotta get to know this dude.
Yeah, it's been great, like getting these like cool spots going on around us, because when we moved into this building, it was like nothing else was here.
Yeah.
We like this entire floor space was open. We were one of the first places to start like building it out, like putting up putting like the whole what do they call it, like construction basically. It was fun up here before. It was like empty. At one point we were like riding mini dirt bikes around because nobody else was in here.
Cool.
There was this guy that was like he had like a wood construction place, and like he was kind of like the sub leaser, I guess. So he had gotten us on board, a couple other companies, but it was all like woodworking pretty much. Like we were the only ones that were like doing something different. And then I think eventually there was like another music place that kind of got in, but like right now it's like a good mixture, because it's like actually finally like the music and arts are like kind of overtaking the woodworks, because it was just like sawdust in here, dude. Like it was like loud saws and sawdust around. So
it's becoming a vibe for sure around here.
So it's always cool, like, seeing like the new neighbors basically, and like, it gives me hope for like, like, because everybody, like, we're all kind of linked in a certain way too, so it's like, like being in the same spot, it makes it it's pretty cool that we got all this stuff going on here now.
Oh yeah. So Navid, this is a podcast about life stories.
Sure.
Just sharing our life stories. I told my life story on an episode. Valence told his. So we're
catching up to do.
So we're here to hear yours. I feel like a good place to start. I always ask the guests this, like, tell me a bit about your parents. Tell me about where you grew up.
Sure. Yeah. My parents are first gen, I'm first gen. My parents are the ones that came to this country.
Word.
They're from Iran. They came over. My dad came over in college on a scholarship to, I think he got into MIT at the time.
Sure.
And also during that time, there was like a revolution going on in Iran. And they were not really, he was on the opposing side of it. Like the universities and students over there were like the activists, like actively speaking out against the government, and they were getting killed, man. Like
this was like 70s?
79. 79.
Right. Yep.
So they were disappearing people. They were unaliving them, they were grabbing them and throwing them in who knows, and they were people were disappearing. So I think my dad got kind of lucky that he was able to use his studies to get out. And I think he was in Boston. I guess that's where MIT is.
Correct.
And then he transferred to University of Michigan, and at that point, that's where I was born. I was born in Lansing, Michigan.
Word.
So
is that where you grew up?
I was young. We moved around a lot, so I was born there, and then I think his studies took him to University of Colorado, like around the Denver area, and then we moved to Virginia, and that was kind of like more I remember. I was like pretty young for like Michigan and Colorado. Yeah. And then basically like Virginia, Maryland. I went to middle school and high school in Maryland, like pretty close to here, Ellicott City and Columbia. So I kind of like.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Wild Lake.
Okay. Neely went to
Oakland Mills.
And I graduated from Long Reach.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I went to in the city. I was in Baltimore City. I went to Lake Clifton. It's rough.
I lived on that block, actually.
You lived on that block over there?
Yep.
Was that St. Lo Drive or something like that?
No, I lived at Hillen and 28th, actually.
Okay.
It's very close.
Yeah, it's super close. Hillen Road, it's wild over there.
Yeah. So if you guys are familiar with all the schools and stuff out there, my parents had moved to specifically like when I was about to go to high school, like they got a crib I think in the Centennial District.
Okay, yeah.
So it was like Dorsey Hall.
Yeah.
Like real close to Centennial, and then that year they switched everything up, and they were like, "You're going like this zone is going to Wild Lake now."
Yeah.
They were like,
right. They built a new school.
Yeah. I mean, I actually think it was better overall. I'm glad that happened. Wild Lake was way more diverse than Centennial would have been, and it was like I think it was bigger. It was just I think it gave me a much more better experience overall. We had like everyone from everywhere. You know, it wasn't like a real like you see like some like high schools in the Midwest or something, and it's like very homogenous, you know.
Sure.
So we had like a real good mix. So I'd actually appreciate that for my high school experience.
What kind of student would you say you were?
I was not a good student. I didn't. I mean, I wasn't bad at school. I just like. I'd gotten like I was bad since like middle school, man. Like I started smoking and drinking and stuff like when I was like 12 or 13.
Dude. Definitely easy to get into. I think my first drink or cigarette was offered to me in middle school as well. Yeah, I wasn't a good student either. Yeah,
I'd like like take the $1.50 that I would get for lunch and like go buy cigarettes, like a pack of cigarettes with it or something like that. Like, go, hey, Mr. Someone, or buy a 40 or something like that.
He definitely grew up in Maryland.
But it's like so easy to do in Columbia because you have like all the walking trails and stuff, right? Like,
So that was a big thing for us. Like, it was like we'd go smoke blunts or skip school and go walk around and. Go off in adventures in the woods, essentially. Just which after you get your car, it was more the kind of backcountry roads out there, like would be like the blunt ride roads and stuff like that. But so I mean, I wasn't like failing school, but the places, like it was like the places that I applied myself. I was like in some AP classes and stuff like that, but like overall, I was just like. Not like a very studious kid, and having like my dad who has his PhD and college and all that, and like like there was like that pressure of like I think like a lot of foreign kids deal with it, but it's like be a doctor or a lawyer or like nothing, like if you're something else and like you're a failure, like
expectations.
I think like one of my insults that my mom used to say is like if you keep doing this you're gonna be a garbage man, and it was like that was like supposed to be like
shout out sanitation, dude, they're doing all right.
And I'm like like now that I'm grown I'm like dude, you know what,
they make like, pretty good money, right?
I'm pretty sure it's union, like they got a good thing
going.
So so I basically was out there, went to HCC for a little bit. Definitely flunked out of that. I got into partying. I was going out to raves and was just
experiencing life, man.
I was not at school, and then like
you were in college but not at college.
I mean I was like definitely not.
I can relate.
I was kind of,
and I'd like moved out and like like it was just like I was working full time at the time too. So it was basically like there wasn't enough time for full-time partying, full-time work, and then full-time school. So I kind of cut school from it, basically.
Do we want to turn that Coke bottle around?
No. They're not sponsored.
Yeah, we're not sponsored.
They're not sponsored.
We need a check first. Any siblings?
I do have a younger brother. He actually just got his PhD 2 or 3 weeks ago from Drexel.
Dude.
So
congrats.
Yeah, congrats.
So he followed a bit better in the footsteps, you know.
Like we let him go free, but this one, nah. He's gonna study.
I kind of I feel like I trailblazed it for the ways not to be.
Yeah,
you know, I think he saw a lot of the stuff that I was doing and fell into and was like, you know, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
So also our like age difference was like pretty like vast. It was like a 7-year age difference. So like, you know, growing up, like we weren't like ever hanging out and
smoking
stuff
together.
Yeah, it was like like
too young to corrupt them all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So so that's kind of family and where I grew up and and everything.
What type of shit were you getting into? What were the parties? What was going on at that time?
So
what's the time frame?
This probably, I guess, I graduated high school in 2000.
Word.
Or 01, actually. I was the first. Yeah, 01. We were like the first class after 2000.
Didn't think it was gonna happen because Y2K and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was at that time, like I'd fallen pretty hard into raving, like found like electronic dance music, like found out what drum and bass was, and found these parties in DC. I mean, it was pretty poppin'. It was like every Friday.
I'm sure that was the shit in like fucking
2000,
early 2000s.
Yeah, dude. It was. I mean, that's something that like I think. It's pretty iconic looking back on it.
Yeah.
You know, there was like a lot of unprecedented.
Quite the time,
Yeah.
So no smartphones.
It was like you had like the hamburger Nokias, the T9.
Exactly what I had. I had a big, thick ass, ugly Nokia phone playing Snake on it.
Yeah. So I mean, that was really like what I got into. I went like head first into that. I was out at parties, like, you know, it was Friday night was a big one. And then, you know, we started finding a Saturday one, and then a Sunday one, and then basically at one point it was like every night of the week there was something somewhere between Baltimore and DC.
Yeah,
for sure.
So at that time too, I, you know, was living that party lifestyle and got into, you know, heavy drugs and was, you know, I was like, oh, you can do this to stay up all night, like, you know, like, and then that turns into like, it like turned into 2 or 3 days.
Damn,
and then, you know, so yeah, I got into, you know, like kind of a darker side of it too.
Just do any womanizing? Get the whore out any bit?
No, not really. I won't. No, I did start. You know, I started selling drugs here and there, so it was like kind of a lifestyle, like with that. But overall, I just it was just parties and. You know,
I was going to ask you what your first job was, but you just told me.
So I've been working since 15, basically. Okay. So I worked. I think my first job was at Target, actually.
Weird.
I had
Columbia
to get
Crossing or something.
I think it was the Long Reach.
Okay. Yeah. I worked at that one.
Yeah. So I had to get the work permit and all that stuff, and you know, borrow the family car to get out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my first job, and then I worked at like a restaurant, like I was like a busser for a little bit, and then my full-time job, you know, hustling. So, and then I ended up going, like, after I got in enough trouble, like I went to Colorado. Like my parents were like, dude, you need to get out of here. I went to Colorado and I was like with my uncle and doing like mechanic work, like a shop out there, and then but like, you know, I started finding stuff out there too, you know. So yeah, that lasted like maybe like a year. So I was like doing some mechanic work, buying and selling cars and stuff, and then I came back out like to the East Coast. So. Yeah, I kind of led that lifestyle for a good while, man. Like, I think since I graduated, like, so like 18 to like mid-20s, you know, just out, you know.
Did you end up doing any time behind that?
So I did, yeah. I caught a coke charge in Virginia.
It's a terrible place to catch.
Yeah, Commonwealth State. Yeah, it was not great, dude.
You only want a ticket.
Yeah, for real. They're not great. Yeah. So I ended up. I mean, at that point, I'd progressed pretty bad. I was, you know. I was a heroin addict at the time. I was like shooting dope. I was like, you know, shooting coke. Like it just was not.
Living a serious Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like running out to Virginia and like taking stuff out there, and then I got jammed up. And then I'd gotten in trouble a couple times here in Baltimore. Like went through booking and you know did 6 months here, 8 months there, but got out and like just whatever. Right. So, like, when I got in trouble in Virginia, I was, like, thinking, you know, the coke charge is, like, whatever. Like, it ain't going to be nothing. And they were like, nope. Like,
threw the book at
me. Yeah.
It's Virginia.
So, so I got, like, 3 years off that. And then Virginia's also Commonwealth State. There's no parole.
Right.
Once you go in, you're in.
I didn't know that.
You're doing the time, yeah. With the good time, it's, like, something like 92% or something. Whereas like, you know, you catch the same charge in like Maryland, it's like, I think you'd probably be out in like maybe 8 months or something on parole with a good time or something. So yeah, I was in it. I was in it. Went to prison out there, and then worked my way to like minimum security camp because I was like doing like all the road crew and like working in the kitchen there just because like I was like, dude, anything's better than sitting in the cell, you know, like just whatever. And then I ended up at this minimum security camp like down like around Richmond, Virginia, like a place called Bowling Green, and they had like inmate worker program, which was screen printing and embroidery. So is
that where it started?
That's where it started.
Crazy.
So I was like an embroidery operator there. I learned how to run the embroidery machines. I didn't screen print there at all, but I was like around it. And then after it was like I think I did. It was like 2 years, 9 months, or 3 years or something like that. It was 3 years. Like it was a full 3 years.
How much did you get pinched with?
Not a lot. Like it was like it was
Virginia does not play.
I think I don't know. Like there was some stuff behind that. I don't think it was a chance. They got me, but I think they got me for my sake at a good time because like. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a chance encounter, basically. But, like, all I had on me at the time was, like, residual, basically.
Word.
But they still treated it the same.
Use, baby.
Yeah, they don't see it that way. Any amount's felony out there. But, so I was able to avoid, like, the distro charges and stuff. But still was such a hefty sentence. Like, I feel like there's some other things going on that... they may have been watching for a little bit.
Did you have to like just make that call to like mom and pop and just be like, hey?
They at that point I knew better. They didn't want any part of that shit. So you know they were like, you know, they would put like money on the phone. I could call them. But like they weren't like you know, it wasn't like, hey, I need a lawyer or like anything. None of that shit was dead. Like, you know. And I had a significant other at the time, and you know, she pretty much just hightailed it like ASAP because I mean we were just using and you know, like within 2 weeks she was like, oh, he's not getting back out. So like you know, she took off on her. Took off on her. So
these drugs ain't going to collect themselves.
Exactly right. So so I was in there and then just started doing that program and ended up like that is like you know fuck the justice system and all that, but at the same time it did save my life. So I'm like, like you know, I don't think I would have made it at the rate I was going. So like being that physically removed from the streets and just everything that was going on did save my life, I think. So and it finally clicked. It was enough time that I was like, I wasn't like scheming, like, all right, like when I get out, like it was like, all right, yeah, I'm done. Like this was it, you know?
This shit
yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't have another bit in me, basically.
Yeah.
I never want to go anywhere all boys.
It's not great.
It's like nowhere. Anything you can think of, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in those situations, I mean, the female COs, I mean, they, that's like the only.
Start looking better and better.
They sure do.
Every single day. Miss Myrna.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, at the minimum security place, like, it got to the point where, like, there were a few of them definitely messing with the inmates and all that type of shit too. So I wasn't on that tip, but you'd see it going on.
In the outside world, she's like a 4.
Yeah, in there it's like
inside, that's all.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So that shit sucked too. That was definitely a part of it that I actually ended up like catching a pen pal, and she was like, she lived in Seattle at the time.
Word.
And I got out and like went and saw her like afterwards.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, I was like, cool.
It's crazy because like that sounds odd.
Yeah.
But that's how we do it now.
Right. Yeah.
Like with the dating apps and all that
stuff. It's just
we
were doing it with
taking a chance to go see somebody.
Right.
True. Yeah. I mean, and this was over the course of like a year, writing back and forth, and then towards the end of it, like putting money on the phone and calling each other.
Yeah, that's
well, actually, I could only call her; she couldn't call me. But yeah, so it was. I mean, that was part of the experience, I guess. But when I did get out, like when I went to Seattle, it was like, what do I do?
Right.
It was like I'm like coming up on the end of my 20s, like all these formative years that like people were going to college and like, building a career and stuff like that. Like I was fucked up in the game,
right.
Yeah.
So I got out and went over there and then tried to do some like labor, like them places where you go and like sign up in the morning, you like show up at like it's basically Home Depot, but like you know what I mean? Yeah, like but it's like the legit version of it. Yeah. And like after like a week and a half of that, I was like, this ain't gonna work. Yeah. So I was like, I can't stay out here. And then also too, I mean, the honeymoon phase of that wore off. It was like you said, it was like a 2 in there was a 10, and then you get out. It's like, oh shit, So yeah, I ended up coming back, and then I started applying to like screen printing places because I was like, that's all. I was like, I know how to do this. I know, And then a place finally hired me and was like, okay, like they had like a embroidery operator that was pregnant, and then they were like, we need someone to cover while she's out on maternity leave. I was like, all right, bet. Like so. Went over there. That was actually in Columbia. And then while I was there, they were like, you're kind of versatile. Like, why don't you move to like the digital graphics department? So I like did some of that stuff. Did the embroidery, did some sublimation work. Was there for like, I think a couple years, and then got approached by another place in the city here who was like, yeah, like we need an embroidery operator. Like we'll pay you this much. And it was like, pretty significantly more than I was getting paid at where I was at. So I was like, yeah, like, grass is greener, let's go. Yeah. And then come to find out they had taken on a real big project. They just needed a temp help. So like after like, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks or something after we completed that project, they like didn't really have the hours, and then like the paycheck started bouncing, and I was like, oh man. So started applying to some other places, LinkedIn at a spot in Odenton. That place was a joke. I mean, it was like this 2 guys that had bought this screen print company that had no idea what they were doing.
They just thought they were about to start like a skate brand or something?
Nah, they were a little older. I guess one was like a real estate agent and one was like a manager at a Target, ironically. And they were like, hey, this is great. Like, let's buy a screen printing. I don't think they had ever printed a day in their life. Yeah. Like, I think they were just kind of like, if we buy this company turnkey, it's going to be all great and all that stuff. So it was like, it was a sinking ship from the get-go. And then I was able to get a job at a place in Laurel, and that place was like solid. And I became like a manual screen printer there. And like for years, I would like really kind of cut my teeth on learning the trade, like at least the print side of it, because like prior to that, like I had no experience.
Yeah, you were doing the embroidery, right?
Yeah, and then I was there up until COVID. And a little bit prior to COVID, like I'd linked in with these cats. They're actually they were down the street here from like off of Falls, like across from Cosima. There's like a vacant building there now, but at the time, it was like this dude who was like a longshoreman who had a print company, and he was getting out of it. And this chick that I forget how I met her, like I think it was online, like Facebook or something. Yeah. And I think she might have lived at that warehouse or like had some tie, and she was like, yeah, like we can all link up and like do this. And then 2017, I was like, yeah, like I'll sign, like I started an LLC, and was like, yeah, I'll do this and do it on the side. So I was like basically working 8 hours printing in Laurel, and then like getting off, like coming straight to the city, printing for like another like 5-6 hours, going home, chilling for a couple hours, and then back to Laurel. Yeah, so it was like, it was pretty intense. Yeah. And I did that for like, I think about 2 years. Like, and then even the weekends and stuff like that, I was like always at the shop, like trying to figure something out or try to get something going. And then when COVID hit and they started laying everybody off, luckily I had the job, so they were like, you'll get some kind of unemployment. And then I was like, well, like I guess this is it. Yeah. You know, I was like, I'm gonna just go for it. So I went like all in. I was like, all right, this is my time, you know, to try to figure this out. And then when they called everyone back, I was like, I went and sat with the owner, because like we're tight. He's a good dude. He like really taught me everything I know, as far as this industry goes. Yeah. And like I was like, look, man, like I think I'm gonna just keep doing my own thing. And he was like, all right, like, you know, like good luck. So so yeah, that was like, I think what 2020, 2021 ish or something like that. And then I think 21 we moved here.
Weird.
And at that time I didn't even have like an automatic press or anything. It was just like just a manual. Like, dude, I'll show you the pictures one day, dude. Like, if like compared to like if we do like a before and after from like even the few years, it's like it's kind of insane. Yeah. Like how much it's progressed. Luckily, so. So yeah, now we're here. You know?
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
So I have this firm belief that nothing that's for you can pass you by or miss you. And it sounds like the way that your life has went, the way that you found screen printing embroidery, like it was, you were always going to. Like
that was like kind of like a destined or like a fate kind of thing. I mean, I've been told that a couple times. Yeah. I'm trying to figure it out still, because like I'm like a lot of days like I'm like, why am I even here? You know, like leading the lifestyle that I did. Most of the people that I know from them like aren't around anymore. Even like during my active using, you know, I'd overdosed a couple times. Sure. Like, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's kind of intense in that aspect. And now, I mean, from all that stuff, August will be 16 years for me.
Fuck so, yeah, dude.
Yeah, so that's like, yeah. Hell yeah. That's been, I mean, I don't, obviously none of this would have been, I probably would have sold the press for crack at some point. Like, I'll be real, you know? And then, yeah, I mean, like, you know, now it's like having employees, like, you know, like trying to give other people chances. Yeah. Because I really, like, you know, this isn't the type of job that I'm like, do you have felonies? Like, do you know, like, do you have a pat? Like, I like really like base people on their actions now, not their histories or anything like that. Yeah. So we've had a cast of characters come through for sure. Yeah. It's gotten better and better. I mean, that's like something that I'm dealing with now. It's like, you know, going from doing all this from myself and being by myself to, you know, essentially being responsible for people now. Yeah, you know, I got like people's livelihoods in my hand, like that, you know, got to make sure that they get their paycheck every week. You know, that's like not something to take lightly.
Right.
You know, it's so yeah, that's where we're at now. You know.
Do you find that your experience is able to sort of guide you when navigating these different characters?
I believe so. I think that there's a certain element of like, you know, you got to be able to read people to a certain degree, and like doing some of the stuff in situations that, you know, I'd been in and come from. It's part of survival. Yeah. You know, whereas like some people may have not seen that side of things, I guess. So so it does help, I think, having like a certain element of like, quote unquote, like the street smarts, you know, to it. Like,
you can look at somebody and kind of
get the vibe. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're not gonna come in here and like steal a bunch of shit or like, you know, like or even, I mean, I have had some situations where, you know, employees have relapsed, and, you know, it's like a little, it's like, you know, the spidey sense starts tingling. It's like something's going on, and then, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt, and then, you know, one day, like, they're nodding out at the press or something. It's like, all right, dude, like, you know, you're not tired. I know what's going on. Like, right?
It's not, man, I'm just very sleepy.
Yeah. And, I mean, you know, unfortunately, like, Baltimore, luckily, I've been very removed from that, so I don't see that as much. You know, I'm sure it's probably pretty prevalent, but, you know, like the way that I lead my lifestyle now, I'm not really around it anymore. I'm not in like certain neighborhoods where
once you have a path, you kind of be in your own bubble.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of other stuff just doesn't even. Yeah. It's just, you know, it's just from a distance. It doesn't even bother you. You don't even see it.
Yeah.
Like you're on your own fucking journey now.
Yeah. So it's like it's pretty much like home and here for the most part. So like what's going on here is like important to me, you know, like, and it's been cool, like seeing like what's around here. And I mean, we've even had certain people around this place that, you know, it's been a little like So I mean, it just comes with it, I guess, like comes with the territory to a certain degree.
Everybody wants to be a part of something. Doesn't mean they're going to be a part of it.
Right.
True.
Where did you, like, when you're getting into like the silk screening and all that stuff? Do you gradually build, like, as far as like color? Like, are you like, okay, I'm doing black and white t-shirts now, and then like you just grow, and then you get like better equipment that can handle, you know, 4 colors, 5 colors?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, usually like you start with like your, you know, 1 color prints, and I had access to, at the other place, like, you know, I had like multicolor manual presses and stuff. But I mean, at a certain point, like there was a point in time that like I didn't know how to burn a screen. There's like a lot of science that goes behind that. There's like, you know, like a formula and variables that you have to like put together to like expose a screen properly, and get, and that really varies from shop to shop. There's like no like set answer. There's there's like the theory behind it. It's like it should be like this, but like the different types of equipment, the different types of like emulsion, inks, the way that you print, it's like every shop is different. Sure. There's just no across the board formula for it. And I talk to like a lot of people. Like I try to keep an open aspect in that. Like people will come and be like, "Yo, like I'm trying to do this. Like how do I do this?" And I'll like try to explain it or help them out to a certain degree. But yeah, it's very. It was very like you start here doing like 1 or 2 color designs, like, you know, one of the biggest steps that I took equipment wise was automating. So it was getting going from manual to an automatic press. And the automatic press doesn't like, people were like, oh, so it just does it, right? Like you just put the shirt on there and it does it. No. like instead of your arms going like this, you have like, you know, like a component that like pulls the squeegees and like lifts the carousel, but like you still have to line up the screens, like you still have to like set up the jobs, you still have to load the shirts. So it's still a very like manual aspect to it. But that automation was like crazy because it's like the first auto I had, we had a six color manual, so it was like the maximum amount of colors we could do is 6. So we got like a 10 color automatic, and it was like, whoa, dude, like now we got these extra colors, and and then after a year and a half, I was like, damn, like I actually outgrew this press. So I think it was last year or the year before, I got 12-14, so it means that you can load 12 shirts at one time, or 14 shirts at one time, and then it's a 12 color press.
Oh, wow.
So that's like changed the game for us a lot. As far as like automation, like it's like manually printing, like, getting 100-piece order was like, dude, like we, like we did it, right? And now it's like we burn through like 1,000-piece order in a day,
dude.
Damn.
So it's like, it's things have changed, so, and that's like a whole thing now too, because I got like a whole crew that goes with it. I mean, I wouldn't be able to sit there myself. Like, I mean, I could, but it would probably kill me. Like, like it wouldn't be fun. Yeah. It's not sustainable, to do 1,000 shirts by yourself. But it's kind of a beautiful thing to see that like in action, because like that level of growth of being like, oh, like I guess this system and formula is like working out, and then like other people are like involved in it. So like, the output and outcome of it is like, it's pretty satisfying.
Yeah, to watch the scale grow.
It's like cool, man. Like we got this. We do this. Yeah. And then along with that, I've found that like with having employees is like getting to the point of like being like a responsible owner, and like it's like, okay, so we can do that. Yeah. Do we want to do that every single day and like burn out everyone, and like especially like in the summer when the shop is hot and like it's like we want to avoid having like a sweatshop too, so I'm always like trying to progress on that now. I think that's like my thing.
You always have sales in the winter for some reason. He's always doing these promotions in the winter time.
So how do you navigate that? How do you navigate being the boss that you want to be, while also being, quote unquote, the most profitable?
Well, it's tough, but I think at a certain point, like it's just like realizing, like it's like, I mean, I've been, the whole capitalistic thing here is like, at one point, like my goal was like, it's like, man, I'm gonna have like 10 automatic presses, and like, I'm gonna have this factory and all this stuff. And like the more that I've like gotten serious about it and I've seen it and deal with it, I'm like, dude, I don't know. I don't want that headache.
Right.
I'm like, are we good like with 1 or 2 autos, and like is everyone getting paid like a pretty decent? Is everyone like being able to live? Like we're not gonna be like millionaires doing this. This is not like an industry where like we're gonna be rich, but at the same time, like, are my bills paid? Yeah. Like, do I like things that I want? Like, can I get them? Like without. Yeah, and I'm like, that's a pretty good place to be.
Oh, for sure.
So like, I'm like kind of like with that mindset now. I'm like, it's like, can I have a group of people, like employees, that like we all can have that, and then can we not hate our job, like going into work every day? And be like, man, fuck, I gotta go in this place. Like, it's like, yeah. And I mean, to a certain degree, like that, like I always consider this like an artistic kind of thing. I mean, we do some jobs that like are not. We do some jobs for like corporate places, and it's like cool, like staff like 1,000 times. Like, all right, But it's a balance, like it's still cool being able to kind of pick and choose that, and like that's like a pretty big thing. So I'm trying to focus on that more so, because it is new to me. That's a new thing. I've been trying to communicate with my team better. Try to be like, yo, like, what do we need to, how do we get better at this, and how do we fix this? How's everyone feeling? Type thing. And I think with that mind frame, like we can only go so big. Like you can't become like Jeff Bezos with that mind frame. Like you got to be a fucked up person to be able to like get there. And like some people are, and that's like how they want to, they want to do their thing or whatever. But I'm like, I want to be able to sleep at night too. So like I want to like try to
purpose.
be ethical. Yeah, like it's like So So yeah, that's like, you know, I don't think I have the final answer. I'm gonna have to figure it out as we go along.
Yeah.
But that's the path that I'm on right now and where we're at with it.
Word.
But yeah, it's just kind of like, all right, cool. Like, you know, I'm not living on the streets anymore. Like, you know, I don't have a needle in my arm. Like, so just kind of being grateful for where I'm at is, I think, a pretty big thing too.
Yeah.
I think Leland was telling me that sometimes you do like a store, like you have people come in.
Yeah, so we got a couple new things going.
Yeah,
we
you just opened the store.
We just built a store, and that's actually like with one of the homies. So, we got like, I got two guys that have their own clothing brand that I linked up with like way back in the day, and they've been with me since the old shop. We got together because it was like kind of a roommate situation. I was like, dude, I can't really, like, you know, at that time it's like, how can I cut down on overhead? Because the biggest overhead is rent and labor in this industry, honestly. So the homie Brendan, who has Pistachio Gallery, him and Yanju, who has Mingo by Domingo, were linked up in Ellicott City. Brendan had a studio and gallery in Old Ellicott City that got flooded out twice.
Fuck, dude.
And then
fucking
after,
off Main Street.
Damn,
dude.
Yeah, so he was down there, and then he linked up with Yanju.
Was he behind like Lapa Lapas or something?
He was down the street. He was like the set away from Phoenix.
Okay.
Okay.
So I forget what else. There was like a coffee place.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called, but it was like the coffee place, and his door was like connected to the coffee place, basically. So yeah, he that's where he was from, and then I just seen his stuff on Instagram, and he like had this like tie-dyed Guinness shirt that he had overprinted. I was like, man, that's cool. Like, I never thought about like printing over another print. Like, you know, I was like, this is great. And like, I've been watching his stuff for a while, and it was like unique, and like it was like very DIY, and like he was doing it himself, like out of like a little studio. So I hit him up and was like, yo, like I'm trying to buy this shirt, and I didn't know what he looked like because he like also like kind of carried his stuff like kind of like a graffiti artist where like you didn't know, like you would see the tags or like see the brand, but like you never knew who was behind it. So I ended up like hitting him up and was like, yo, I'm trying to buy this shirt. And like he was like, yeah, come meet me at like this place like in Howard County, and that's where they had their like little studio, like where they were printing basically.
That's pretty dope.
And I went up there and I was like, yo man, like I just got him like off of Falls Road. I don't know if you're interested, like maybe like if you guys like want to come down and like, you know, we can split the rent and you guys can use the equipment and stuff like that. And they came down and they saw it was like a semi-legit shop, I would say, because like if I walked into a place like that now, I'd be like, nah. but like, you know, coming from like if you were like doing it like on a tabletop press, like you know, like real like at home type stuff, it would have been like, oh shit, yeah, we got some equipment. So luckily they ended up like, they were like, yeah, you know what, yeah, we'll join in. So we were like splitting the rent down there. They were coming up. I was like kind of teaching them what I knew about printing. So they started excelling, like they started doing a lot of, you know, their own stuff better and, you know, bigger. So the storefront was actually Brendan Pistachio's idea. It was actually a space that we were sharing with Neely before.
Yeah, it was Neely's storage.
It was a storage
unit. Storage.
So there's like a giant compressor that goes with the automatic press, and it was like in the shop before. And like we didn't realize, like this thing's like a motorcycle engine. Like literally, it's like a 2-stroke motorcycle engine.
Pumping air, all right?
And it was just going off like every 15 minutes of the day, and like I didn't realize until we removed that and put it in the other room and we couldn't hear it anymore, like how agitated we were all day.
Just driving you crazy.
Like it's just like it seriously
like something is on my nerves, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and you could tell it was like everybody that worked there just too. Everyone's just like on edge, and it was just like it was like this environmental factor that like we just like I don't know, like we didn't think about it. It was like that's part of like, you know, part of it like. So
it's in the store now.
Yeah, it's
and before you built the box around it, when the bleed off valve would go every now and then, the pressure relief valve, and there was a little a floppy hose on it.
Yeah, it's got like a little exhaust. Yeah. It would just start whipping around. You're just like,
if you didn't know, I mean, I knew it was there, and it would still get me.
Yeah, it's So we had that, and then Neely got the other space, and Brendan was like, man, I want to get a storefront again because he hadn't had one since Ellicott City and when he got flooded and stuff. And I was like, look, man, like if you want to spearhead like building it, then I'll take on the lease, and we'll make it what it is basically.
Word.
So yeah, he built it out. We did insulate that compressor, so it's not as loud. We did build a box around it, but luckily the store is normally not open when the shop is running. So like we'll have these events. The opening day one was like the first one. Brendan and I will work with each other. Like Brendan does the graphics, like he does like a lot of these cool graphics. Like this one was a spin-off of like an old you remember like the 90s, they had like the Bugs Bunny and the Taz, like it was Bugs and Taz, and then like
basketball,
that type of stuff. So there's like a Flintstones one too, and we did rip off of the Flintstones one, and Brendan drew it up, and it's me and B, and on the back it had like an Oreo spiral, and we have now 2 years in a row done a opening day drop. So like right before the Orioles play, we'll do like a shirt basically, like kind of like a throwback to like an older design or something.
I used to have plenty of fucking black Bart Simpson t-shirts.
Yeah, man.
With a Bulls jersey on. Right. Like the 90s. It was bigger than the Simpsons and the Bulls, right?
Yeah.
This is make them black.
Yeah.
There's your demographic, sir.
That's been a cool new addition. That was the first time. That was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was our inaugural.
That's pretty.
That was sick.
Yeah, that was your opening day thing.
Opening day, yeah.
So the building was lit.
It was
general.
Yeah, and then coincidentally, the wrestlers were having
they had an exhibition.
So like it was.
Yeah, shout out Jim. Shout out EWA.
Yeah, we had invited Peabody Heights, so they were here with some beer, and then we had invited Glizzy's, so like he was out here with his food truck doing hot dogs.
Word.
And it was just like
Actually, I just went to Peabody's for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, they're great,
It
man.
was a fucking fantastic time.
Yeah.
I had a really good time. The arcade.
Yeah.
They had like a taco truck outside the town.
Yeah.
It was a fucking vibe, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the shit out of it.
They throw a lot of events.
Yeah.
They had Skater Trader that we went to last week. They do
Word.
like a record bazaar, which is like also like kind of along the lines of like what we're maybe exploring using the space for here. Before the storefront, we've thrown 2 shows there now.
Yeah.
We did do an event with Beatitude, which was like basically a rave at the shop.
Yeah.
Was super cool. Like everyone, and I was surprised, like coming from my background, I was like, man, these people are gonna tear up the warehouse. I was like, this place is gonna get trashed.
Yeah.
Like I was worried, man, because now it's like my livelihood. I got expensive equipment in there. Like there's like ink everywhere. I'm like, man. But it was the greatest time. Like went off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Like everybody was cool, like respectful.
I think a lot of reasonable people want to see stuff like that continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
they do try to help and take care of the environment.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm speaking that because like me and him, we go out and do shows as comedians. Like we try our best to take care of where we're performing,
whatever the
make sure
venue is.
that's
Try and
good.
take care of the
we
staff.
Want to continue it. We want
Yeah.
to keep
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah, so that was a beautiful thing, and we had the press set up, so we try to tie it in, so it's not just like we're trying to build like somewhat of a tie, so it's not just like we're throwing a party.
Right.
So like this one was like for that specific event was the ticket was you had to buy a piece of merch. And then we actually did live printing, like while one of the DJs was spinning. We were spinning the press and printing shirts
That's
like at the
dope.
same time.
That's pretty dope.
And they took some video. The video came out pretty cool. And then Brendan brought in a singer-songwriter who was here from California.
It was like a few months ago.
Yeah, so it was like an acoustic set.
Yeah.
And she was like, I want everyone to sit. So, Neely saved the day. He did sound on that one.
Yeah.
I think I was actually in here. Was it on a Sunday?
Yeah, you were running back.
I was in here doing a podcast with Leland. I believe.
No,
not yet.
What was I doing? I don't remember.
I think we were just hanging around the studio that day.
No, I definitely had something booked in here. It wasn't. No,
that might have been the day
around.
we ended up kicking.
Yeah, that was the day that we ended up kicking.
Because we stayed late and then we cleaned everything up, and I think that was the day that we ended up.
I had Charles run sound actually, or just make sure nothing caught on fire while I was running.
Yeah,
maybe we had a jam earlier in the day. If it was a Sunday, we had to have had a jam earlier.
I don't think it was. I think it was a
Maybe
Saturday.
It wasn't a Sunday.
I think it was a Saturday.
I must have had a rehearsal client or something. Then. But yeah, either way, yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that went off great. Again, it was like that was like when we had just the store was open but not completely finished. So that was like the first time we used it for like pickups.
Yeah.
And then we had some like artwork on the walls and stuff
maybe
like
some
that.
Merch in there,
yeah, and then that was same thing. It was like you buy the merch, and then we did some live printing there, but like we had since it was like pre-orders and like it was like more of like a quieter set, like the machine's pretty loud, so we didn't want to like have it running while someone's like doing a song and stuff. Yeah. So that but I think that they've been unique experiences, and everyone that's attended so far is like, oh wow,
sick, dude.
And then even from an aspect of like people realizing that like a lot of people don't think about like screen printing or like how stuff is made, like how is this shirt printed? Most people are like, "Oh, dude, I thought you like put it like you feed it like a sheet of paper through like a printer or something."
Yeah. And all the colors on one.
Yeah. So like a lot of times people seeing the process.
Discovery Channel needs to hit you up to do a how it's made.
They should. Yeah. So I mean that's been cool too, because it gives it like it's like, hey, yeah, this is like an art form tied in with something else. So. So I'm hoping that like we can continue that, and with you guys too.
I'm hoping as well, man. I definitely want a tour. I need to see some of this stuff.
Yeah, come through definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
There was a time, man. Bush was president.
That was a time.
There was this time where, like, there was this like little boutiques throughout Maryland. Like I would go all around Baltimore, Frederick, just back and forth, just finding these places. Like there's a spot downtown called like Pedestrian, I think, place out in Frederick called Social Studies, and they just had like these local artists that just made shirts and just whatever kind of clothes they would get, and they had these unique events where they just sold all this stuff. They had competitions where they would brand it for the store, but if your design would win, they would use your design for their brand, and then like you get like a percentage, blah blah blah. And it was just an amazing. I said Bush because like shortly after we went into like a recession, and like most of those places don't even exist anymore after that. But that was such a fantastic fucking time for me, because I got to learn about the quality of shirts, the quality of the prints, the different type of textures, all that stuff, and you just engulf yourself in that stuff, man. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, our buddy Mingo, they have some real extravagant pop-ups. Like he'll go up to New York, and it'll be they'll do them at different places. I mean, they're more like on the high-end retail too. Which is like a bit out of like I'm always on the production side, like not so great with the marketing or like selling like individual shirts or it's like I'll print them for people and they do that, but having gone to some of his pop-ups, it's been like very similar. And it's an experience.
It is.
You go there and it's like, whoa, dude, like
have a little box of wine sitting somewhere.
Yeah.
A couple boxes of wine. It's a fucking party, man. A little DJ in the corner.
Music on,
It's a vibe.
So you've done design before. Have you considered doing your own line?
We do shop shirts, and that's
okay.
So far as we've gone with it, and I'm getting the employees now a little bit more involved in it. If somebody has an idea, I'm like, let's do it. I think I'm teetering like with maybe doing some stuff where it's just Syndicate as opposed to like Syndicate screen print. But you know, it's more of like a passion project at this point, like or something to like hone my printing skills or like try something new, as opposed to like really, you know, I've never actually had a lot of luck selling a brand of my own. You know, I as I said before, it's more the production side that like I excel at. So I'm like kind of like I'm good at that. You know, like I'll help other brands right now. You know, like get stuff up. But I mean, we do have the shop shirts, so you know, you keep an eye out for those. And most of the time we end up like giving them away. Honestly, it's like I'm still at a point where I'm like, somebody wants to wear something that like I made. I take that as an honor. I'm like it's like cool. It's like if it's getting worn, if it's getting used, that's like that's cool. You know, that's.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see some limited runs, or even just like some one of ones. Like if you have like an idea, that you know, it's like I don't know if this is something that I want to necessarily market, but I want to make it. Like I'd love to see that shit.
There's a certain amount of paralysis that comes with that too. Having like an entire shop, right, and being like I could do whatever, and then it's like, what do I do? And it's like, you know, so to be real, I might have a little bit of that too.
I feel that.
You know, like after being like, it's like, you know, and a lot of times I'm burnt out too. Like, you know, I'm putting like all my effort and focus on like making sure like the people that are paying me for what I'm doing is like I need to make sure that's good. So like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, if I printed 8 hours, 9 hours for like another brand, it's like I'm not exactly like,
don't know if I got another hour
dude, like I'm ready to do it for myself. And on that to piggyback that, I'm like I'm getting to a point where after like all these years of like working like 14, 16, 17 hours a day, I'm getting to a point where I'm like trying to like really, you know, we were joking about the 2 phone thing, but it's like, you know, that last year I was like, I am dedicating a work phone that I either pass off to one of the employees or when I go home, I turn it off. Because, you know, it's tough being a business owner, and that's like, salute.
Sorry about that.
Being like, it's like very engulfing, especially like when you put your everything into it. So I ended up like basically like, you know, a relationship fell apart because like looking back on it, I was just like so blinders focused on
just tunnel vision on
success for this business that like I didn't take time for anything else. And like I'm trying to deal with that now. Like I'm trying to be like, yo, who am I without Syndicate? And it's hard for me because it's like that's like it's like I try to talk to people or like I'm like, what are my hobbies? And I'm like, if it's not screen printing, what is it? You know what I mean? Like, so like
I'm struggle with that, man, because like, so like we do stand up. Me and this guy. That's how we met, is doing stand up comedy, and I find that all of the things that I enjoy, like the things I really enjoy, I want to make a career out of. So like I started out doing stand up because I just enjoyed it. And then you start making some money from it. It's like, I could actually do this. And it's like 5 nights a week, 7 nights a week, multiple times a night. It's like, I'm getting burnt out. Start making music. It's like, I'm here all the time making music. It's like, oh fuck. Then start learning all the other things about it. It's like, what do I enjoy outside of the making of something? It's like.
And I think that
I started shooting guns recently.
That's cool.
That's like
I wish I could, you know. I'm being a convicted felon. That's something I haven't got back. I got the voting rights back. But
I think the main thing is I often am having this conversation with myself is like, what's making me happy? You know what I mean? Like what do I need to change, or what do I need to add to ensure that there's just a level of happiness around me? And I know that like just doing stand-up contributes a lot to my happiness. Whenever I'm not doing it, I almost feel like I'm fucking miserable. You know, we have a job. Like I'm sick of having a job. You know what I mean? But you need like those other things is just to kind of help pull you out of all that other shit.
Because
like work is demanding.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Because I don't know what it's like to have your passion be your job just yet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Until then, it's like you need to have those other little things
that fulfill you.
Yeah. Just kind of recharge your battery on.
Yeah.
It's still something you're doing, but it just recharges your personality, who you are.
It's tough.
It is tough.
It's a place, and I'm glad I'm trying to like consciously like, deal with it now, because I think that also is like, if you get to that point, it collapses, and that's like where like also businesses fail, or like you get to a point like, I mean, I think like a year ago I was just like, dude, like, I was like, man, if somebody came and bought this business, like I might, and that's when I started realizing, I was like, damn, dude, like there's something else going on. Like I'm like, like my mental is like not, not there right now. So, it's, having that balance, I guess. But
because there might be something within what you're doing now that could just excite you all over again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just can't see it because you're in that loop of just like your day to day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is always good to just draw back a little bit. And you're like, fuck, the answer's been right here in front of me the whole goddamn time.
Right.
Yeah. Travel the whole world, and then you're like, oh, right here.
Leave it right here.
Yeah. I mean, personally for me, I've used travel. Like I'd take like a good vacation for myself like once a year now. I've been going to Europe and like going to a music festival over there, and like I just keep extending it a little bit more every year, and it's actually cool because it's like I couldn't before. It was like if I left the shop for like 2 weeks, it's like, dude, like the financial damage from it, or like, just it just wouldn't work.
Right.
Or like the personnel that I had in play, it was just, it just wasn't gonna work. But slowly I've been like testing the waters, like, working remotely, and like, and then like it'll be cool, man. Like I've had, times that the past like 2 years I've been like, at a villa in Italy, like on an island, and I'm like working. I'm like, dude, I'm still getting paid out here. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, like I gotta work 4 hours, but like I'm also on a laptop, like at a beach. Like, that's pretty cool.
It is.
Cool.
So like that's helped me. But even then, it's like still like, making sure like that entire vacation isn't like I'm just working. You know, so it's like it's still like a little bit of a challenge, but. I think that's like just business owner in general. That's like that's and there's a lot of other business owners that I've talked to about this, that it's like it's it's a thing across the board, especially like when you're building something from nothing. But I'm definitely trying to find that again. 2 phones, like and the other thing was like, I mean, I would take earlier on, it was like people would text me at like 9 o'clock, like, yo, like I'm trying to get shirts, and I'd like actively engage with that and just be like, and then maybe even like taking a little step back and being like, dude, it's okay. Like you can, what's the difference between 9 tonight or like, 10 tomorrow, and setting some boundaries, with that.
I'm sure in the beginning you were like, yeah, come on, I need this.
Well, and I think it was necessary to a certain degree, like, because I was like, kind of edging out like maybe certain other competition or other shops, because it was like, having
that response time and
availability. But I mean, at a certain point, it's like
your
it
peace
comes
of mind,
at a cost.
Right.
Your peace of mind needs those business hours.
Yeah, and I think it also changes the clientele a little bit too, which I've noticed that like. Some of these like larger contracts, like, at the beginning I'd take on these jobs and it was like, yeah, dude, like, wouldn't get payment up front and do all this shit, and then like spend like 3 weeks chasing somebody down to get paid like $300 for some shirts, and it's like, was this worth it? Like, like I don't know. But then like now you get like, we've gotten to a point where like there's certain clients that like they don't bat an eye at the end. It's like what is it done, paid, you know, and it's like, oh shit.
That's awesome when you got clients that has a budget for it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's what you want?
Yeah.
We got a budget for it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's keep going.
Yeah, and I mean these are some goals that, like, you know, we're trying to set in play too. Like, you know, link up with like certain places like that. Like, you know, we've linked up with some bands that are like, you know, really pushing a good amount of merch. That's like something that I'm like, dude, if we could just do this, like, we're, you know what I mean? Like, this would be cool. Like, you know, and that's kind of what I'm hoping from some of the places around here now. Like, we'd, the opening day, actually, there was a band recording here. And about 10 people asked me, they're like, yo, like, who's that?
Yeah, it was
who's that?
Ravagers. Ravagers were
yeah.
practicing in here.
Yeah. So
they're from New York.
Yeah, the amount of people were like, who is that? Who is that? And then now we went out and we were like, yeah, this band's cool. We've never known about them before, you know? So so that was like a cool moment too. Like you said, it was like so much going on that day.
So much going on in the warehouse. Yeah.
Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah. Where were you?
Yeah. That's the cool thing about the warehouse. Like that, sometimes it's just so much going on in here.
Yeah.
And you got the wrestlers right there. Like I did a couple designs, and I think one of my first shirts that I ever got to sell and actually see on somebody was for like a tag team.
Oh, really?
Had like an indie wrestling shit. You know what I mean? And that shit was fucking phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to sell it at one show, circle back at another show, and then you see them walk in with that shirt on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
It's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Scott likes to say this building has good reception.
It does. It has good reception for genius.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You play music a little bit.
I did at one point. I played guitar. I had like a little band. I, you know, in active addiction, literally pawned every piece of equipment that I had, which always made me wonder. I was like, dude, did Kurt Cobain really have that bad of a habit? Because now he ain't on all this shit, dude. Like all these musicians, I was like, man, dude, like, I mean, I guess they had like a certain compass or morals or something that they weren't willing to cross. But for me, it was just like nothing sacred, you know? Like, so yeah, dude, I had some decent gear. I really regret getting rid of some of that stuff. I'd had a Mustang, had a Jaguar. So yeah, there's some gear that I'm like, damn, dude. Like, you know, that guy at the pawn shop was definitely like,
he's coming up.
Yeah,
He's
man.
like my friend. My friend.
Yeah. And I think, dude, there was like a guitar that wasn't even mine, but like I had it and took it up there one day, and I knew, like, I should have known. He was like, hey, like, I'll just buy this outright from you. He didn't even want to give the buyback ticket on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, come to find out that motherfucker was worth a lot more than
what he was offering you.
Yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, I mean, I never really, like, ever since then, like, I never touched I never got like a guitar, like, you know, didn't get back into it. Definitely, like, can't live without music. I mean,
you guys
our
are
shop,
dude,
like, I don't know, like, I don't know how people.
Neely was just in there.
Yeah, Neely hooked it up again.
Yeah.
We got stereo sound in there now.
you got PA sound.
PA sound, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be some sound in this.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is great. Like, especially, like, dude, when some of the employees go home and I'm in there by myself, like, I don't go out to the club that much anymore or whatever, but I'll put a mix on and just crank that shit. And I'm like, I'm at the club. This is the club.
Do you see yourself getting back into it? Do you see yourself playing it again, just for recreation?
You know, that might, now that we're like talking about it, like maybe that is something. Maybe I should get a guitar, like, and
you should, dude.
You know what I mean? That'll be something outside of screen printing and a hobby or something. You know?
You're in a building with multiple studios.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's something to that. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think I haven't thought about it, but yeah, maybe I might grab a little acoustic and take it home and mess around with it here and there, and then maybe it'll work its way here one day.
Yeah, you gotta come through the jams on Sundays, dude.
Yeah. So last Sunday, dude, that was kind of like this like moment for me because we were doing a photo shoot for this brand that we were
Rat Pack.
Yeah, Rat Pack. So
shout out Rat Pack.
It's the drummer from End It, Chris. He wanted to venture and do like a project. So we've been working on that, and we did the photo shoot, and then like all of a sudden it's like the guitarist from Turnstile's here,
dude.
Modeling
fucking love
and
Turnstile,
stuff.
man.
I was like, whoa, dude, like you know, like be cool, man, be cool. You know? And it's like
don't fanboy out.
Yeah, man. It's like, you know, and this is actually the second time some of the members from Turnstile have come through because they were looking for a location to shoot a music video, but at the time the front of the warehouse was it had some other people in there. But I don't know, man. It's just like having certain moments like that of like being like, you know, these bands or people that like, you know, we listen to, and it's like, whoa, dude, like this is where we're at. Like, you know, they were at the shop. Like we just did a photo shoot with them. Like that's kind of a moment to be like, whoa, dude.
That sort of proximity sort of affirms that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
I think, yeah. And I'm hoping that continues. And that's like, you know, and now it's like, you know, even with like the other music studio back there, I'm just like, man, like who knows, man? Like maybe, you know, all it would take is one day, like, you know, one day, like how things lined up, and all of a sudden it's like, who knows what can come out of that.
For real.
It's therapy.
Yeah.
It's therapy, baby.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
That sounds beautiful, man.
Yeah. What has got you excited these days?
That's a good question. I've been stressing a lot lately, man.
Well, you guys have had a lot going on.
We had
opening a store.
Yeah, that's been good. It's just I'm trying not to get sucked into the politics and you know, economy shit right now, and it's like to a certain degree, like I mean, I feel like I need to be, you know, literate on it, being a business owner, and like, you know, not just like completely head in the sand, but at a certain point it's like, dude, like, I mean, what do you want to do?
Right.
You know, like,
you deal in a lot of consumables.
About this shit all the time.
You have to be aware.
I mean, right now, dude, it is like a thing, like, you know, like with the tariffs coming up, like we've gotten our wholesalers that have all like sent out their, you know, prices are going up like May and June and all this, and I'm just like, fuck, man, you know, like I'm just like, I don't know, dude, like, so I'm fine, like I'm so stressed out on stuff like that I'm finally not. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like
it's becoming numb
like,
to it.
Yeah, well, it's just like I personally hit a point where like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm like, you know what, dude, I'm just gonna deal with it. Like one way or another, I'm gonna figure it out. Something's gonna, like, you know, like stressing about it to that point, like I don't know what, like what's it gonna change, good, right? You know? So
that's how I get through it. I figure we're just gonna figure out a way to keep going forward.
Yeah.
Like you said, you might have to, if you can't get a wholesale, you might have to go reprint over some other shit.
Yeah, which is actually, it's funny you said that. We literally just, like, Retrospect Maryland, which is like a vintage store, has like their first year anniversary coming up, and they're like, hey, can you print on thrifted, like, blanks? And I was like, yeah, man, bring them. So we just, like, printed on a bunch of...
Might have to the next 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be negative about it, but I just feel like I haven't, like, been too excited about anything in specific recently because I've been like kind of preoccupied with some of that stuff going on. I am excited. I am planning on going back to Europe in September, so I'm starting to get geared up for that, and like you know, I think in like a month or two that'll really kind of sink in. I got a music festival that we do the merch for in Pennsylvania called Big Dub.
Nice.
And we've been doing that for, I think, going on like 8 or 9 years. At least the festival's on its 16th year. Sure. But I think merch-wise, I got involved. And that's been cool, too, because I was like a patron, like not, you know, literally paying for the full week, going like that a couple times, and then like coincidentally got linked up with like some of the management, and then like was like, hey dude, I do shirts, you guys don't have, you know, official merch, like you want to try this? And then it's like just taken off to something that's like a pretty big thing.
Sick.
So that's always good. That's in July, so I would say I'm excited about that as well. But yeah, from like day to day, it's just, I don't know, sometimes I'm just just
grinding.
Yeah,
I feel that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's yeah.
No, we can relate. He can't look down on you for that.
right.
Going through the goddamn zone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I do feel like, I mean, it is a collective kind of, you know, bro. Like it's like prices for shit going up. Like you know, these are real things going on. Like we can't, you know, we can't ignore them for sure. And then just like, I mean, even once I go down that rabbit hole, it's like, you know, like looking at some of the AI stuff, like you start reading articles online, and it's like, dude, what is real, what is not? Because like you see like these like parody videos of like how good like AI's gotten with like making videos or like, and it's like, whoa, dude, like this is dangerous. For
but
real.
no matter
like,
how good AI has gotten,
it
can't do hands. Hands are so fucking hard, dude.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, it progresses.
People have a hard
so
time
fast.
doing hands.
It might, you know, but yeah, I you know, and that like in and of itself, I mean, we're dealing with some stuff digitally with screen printing too. You know, it's like people are like, oh, they like direct to film transfers are like a really big thing now. So it like prints and then you heat press it on the shirt. A lot of places are like switching over to that, and it's like, is that it? Like, is screen printing dead? You know, like I don't know. Like, so there's some of that going on too.
I don't like the feel of a heat pressed shirt.
No, that's, I mean, it is different. I think it's definitely different. I don't think that, I'd like to say that, you know, screen printing's been around this long. It's not going anywhere. Right. I think, I mean, we utilize some of the newer technologies for, I think it's, I don't want to just be like closed-minded to that to too much. And an example of this that I bring up is like when I started going out to raves and stuff, it was like techniques like 1200s where it was all records and stuff, and it was like then like CDJs came out, or like the actual CD like ones, and then and at that time it was like, nah dude, if you don't spend vinyl, like you know, the fuck, like
you're not 1200s are still
shit,
here,
like you know. And now it's like, you know, dude, like you don't see anyone spinning vinyl, so like I'm like, part of me is like, is that like what's happening with screen printing?
Part
is
of
it like, you know, is it gonna be like a purist
like, that shit's
thing?
so
like,
fucking heavy though. Like taking your techniques and like
for sure.
Having a crate of vinyls with you.
I mean, I did DJ for a little bit, and having the record bag was crazy.
Yeah, dude, that shit is so fucking heavy.
Yeah, it's just on the laptop. Like, I'm good.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, you know, it is, you know, technology does, you know, do certain things, but that's not to say that like a lot of DJs didn't like progress with that. And I wonder if like, you know, with screen printing, is that like what it would end up being? Like, is it like, all right, dude, like we're, you know, that's the way the industry's going or something.
So I just started buying more graphic tees. Amazon actually does pretty good printing.
Yeah,
I didn't think they did at one time, but they do.
I'm not sure like what their setup is. They might have like direct to garment machines or something that do like one-offs. Like there's like a niche for that too, you know, like so I don't know. I think there's a little bit of everything. I've been using like more hybrid methods, like maybe using like transfers on the hood of a hoodie, but then screen printing the rest, or like, you know, using it here and there, like mixing it all together. But yeah, I mean, that just goes with like, you know, the current climate of like, you know, the acceleration of technology and like AI and like all that. And it's like, you know, it's the times that we live in right now. It's unprecedented.
We're definitely in what's about to happen next. Time right now, like what's the next thing, like where are we going? We're definitely going somewhere
Might be Mars, I don't know. But so that's and I'm like, even thinking about like going to Europe, I'm like, man, like, you know, going out there as an American right now. It's like I might be like, nah, I'm from Iran, dude.
You're from America? Y'all fucking up.
For real.
Yeah, I mean, they're not lying.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that.
Yeah.
Are you from the States? Y'all fucking up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite method or something that that you prefer to do in your shop? Like if an order comes through, you're like, no, I want to do this way, and actually, you guys can take a break. I'll do it.
So some of the more challenging, like simulated process prints, I'm always like, yeah, I got this.
Word.
I do enjoy doing that, like getting like these photorealistic prints from screen printing. I find that really fascinating, and that's like kind of the level that I'm at, and a lot of that is kind of advanced, like the advanced screen printing. Like when you first start doing that, like if you try to do that, like it's some of it's very difficult with a manual because like just the slightest amount of too much pressure can blow out a design or can change the color of the design and stuff like that. So I've been like kind of on that kick. We actually got like an inquiry today, and it was like a lower piece count. But I was like, yo, like, see if you can push. Like I was telling the girl that's been handling the emails and stuff for me, I was like, see if you can push that through, just because like I actually want to print this.
Sick.
I was like, this is cool. I want to see how this turns out. But yeah, I mean, I got it. It's kind of it's tough because a lot of that is now learning to be hands off. Because like I got this, like I know I can do it, right? But if I keep doing it, they're not gonna learn. And then some of that is like just letting them go through the process and like trying to be like
and that's less time on the beach in Italy, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good way of putting it. Now that you put it that way. Yeah. So I mean, also though, I will say I do believe that screen printing is it's in an interesting area because it's a skilled trade, 100%. Like this is a skilled trade that like I mean I've been doing it for close to a decade. So like if I'd gone to school, I'd have my PhD in printing at this point. And like they there's classes and stuff like that. But it's also like this skill that like I feel like is not like completely imparted on. It's also like other shop, like it's a little bit of a gatekeepy kind of thing. Like if you get in with like a larger shop, like the guy that's running the auto isn't going to teach you how to do it because he don't want to lose his job. He's not going to teach you everything that he knows. So you might learn a good amount from it, but you're not ever going to like have the full scope because they're not going to basically tell you, like so I've noticed that a lot, like especially with hiring. You get people that have even been around the industry or worked in the industry, but it's like, dude, like who taught you? And like what happened here? So that's like something that I've been like thinking about because it's like, the people that are working for me now, it's like I'm like essentially like imparting a certain type of wisdom or like a skill to them, and then having to switch into that teacher role, like I'm not the best at it, I'm just like, I know why and this, and then like I have to like really like be better about communication and like explain the process and like, but yeah, that's like something that I've noticed is like kind of interesting time for that too, because it's like I think it has like a little bit to do with like the generational gap. And then like you think about it, like a lot of these newer printers that are coming in, like if they only have like direct to film or digital stuff to work with and it's easier to work with, they're gonna be swayed towards that. Why don't we do that? And then it gets to a point where it's like, I mean, how many screen printers are left, right? So it becomes like, it's like, do they still manufacture vinyl? Like, there's people that are actively like vinyl enthusiasts and stuff like that, but I don't know. Like, does it become like a certain niche?
Vinyl's making something of its own little comeback though, and the same thing could happen with screen printing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 'cause something's to be said for the actual texture, right? It's just like that, the way things fade.
Yeah.
The way
how they age. Yeah. How they last, basically. Yeah. That is true.
There's plenty of people there's a reason why those thrift stores have those old concert T-shirts.
Yeah, true.
Band shirts because they fucking last, man.
Yeah. I think that I've said that a couple times, and that's like one of my goals. I'm like, I'd like to get to a point where my prints, like, if they're like 20 years from now and someone's thrifting them, that's how I know I made it.
Sick.
This is one of mine.
Yeah. Damn, this is going for 120 now.
Yeah.
I sold this for 7.
Right. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Before we get out of here, do you have any lasting thoughts? Any wisdom that you want to impart to the people?
No, I would just say if you do have that passion and you can link it up, that is a beautiful thing. Having that balance to go with it is super important. I think that's, it's, when I'm put on the spot, I'm like just mind blank, but hopefully out of this entire conversation there was some kind of wisdom or something that was somebody can pick up on. So I hope is there.
If you're somewhere struggling, you don't have to always be struggling.
I mean there's definitely that's the other thing. I mean, people do change, there is a hope in that aspect. I mean, if want to speak about it directly with addiction or anything like that, there's that's not for life. I mean, it is in a sense, it's always going to be there, but how you deal with it is a whole different thing. So if you've had bad set of cards dealt or whatever, I mean, that's something that I'm lucky that dude, I'm a convicted felon, minority, all that, and it's still can think that I'm pretty successful, and it's so there somehow it happened.
Right.
There's a way and there's hope for it for sure. So
Sounds like a winner.
Absolutely. Navid Sarfaraz. Syndicate Screen Printing. It's my host, Valence Michael Presley. I'm Leland Clayton. This has been Life Thus Far. Thanks for watching.
Dude, thank you guys.
Sludge